Hey, and welcome back for another Brad Tragick video. I know I just did the video a while back of another Brad Tragick update, nothing like that, but this is not that. This is something different. This is actually going to be, uh, what happened to Brad Tragick, what got him to where he was today. Um, so basically, what happened is, I was with a friend. Basically, I was with a guy. I was with one friend, I'll just call him by his first name. His name was Matt, and I was with him for the longest time. Things happened. I won't go into great detail, but basically, he went away for a while in high school, but during that time, I got introduced to another friend, and then when that best friend when Matt, one of my best friends, went away, here came Danny, who he was a great friend. He was there for like almost all through high school, and then beyond that, I was friends with him for a while. Now we've kind of fallen astray because he's moved to Ohio and everything, so it's not I haven't really seen much, but I do somewhat keep in contact with him. So I really don't have like a true like friend right now that I can really like to go over to their house and say, hey, how you doing? Hey, let's jam, or something like that. But basically, during the time with hanging out with Danny, that we never really. I mean, I knew he was in a band and things like that, and after one of their major lead singers in their band left, um, they didn't want to keep the same name, and a couple of members dropped off and left. But and Danny tried to step in as the lead singer, which he was already kind of singing anyway because they would do covers and things like that, and he would sing most of the covers, and the other lead singer would do their songs and things like that. And Danny never really had like a main song from that band. I don't believe so. He did mainly the covers. I think he may have did one like original of theirs, but I think the other guy did all the others. Well, he left. Things ensued. Other things left, the bassist and everything like that. Basically, a whole entire reformation of the band happened, and things just kind of happened that they were trying to find a singer, and I don't think they really auditioned a whole lot of people, but the idea was kind of sitting there that the drummer and Danny wanted to reform the band. Well, somehow I got into kind of saying that, hey, I like to sing. My mom sings. She's a great singer, and I think I'm not too bad. And I stepped in and I started singing and everything, and they liked it. Especially when I could scream, because I'm actually a really good screamer. But you wouldn't know what the kind of music I do now. But hopefully in the years to come, I will able to be able to form like kind of a mixture of sounds and do some screaming as well, or yelling, whatever you want to call it. But the drummer was impressed. Everybody was impressed in the band, and they ended up bringing in another guitarist into the band. Sean, he did some great stuff with the music and everything. It was a great time in the band, and I'm not going to go into great detail what happened, but there were some fights, there were some misunderstandings, and basically, they went on. They tried to form another band and have Danny as the lead singer. It didn't work. I'm not trying to paint Danny as he's a problem, but it just didn't work. It didn't happen. They didn't have. I'm not going to really go against anybody, but basically I think what happened was some people in the band were busy with other things and didn't really care about the band itself. So they weren't really thinking long term with the band. So I think that was what the deal was. But I won't go into any fights or anything because I'm not really on fighting terms with them right now. I'm pretty much on speaking terms with everybody. So, but I just think, nobody was really thinking long term about the band. They were just thinking short term, let's go, let's have some fun, everything like that. Which kind of made me mad because I was actually thinking long term. I wanted to get a band that, wanted to stay together for the longest time. But after that, I continued to audition for bands here and there, here and there. And, I never really came up with anything, and basically a lot of, just trying out, and people, I had one band I tried out for, basically, like I walked in and they're like, well, do you know any cover songs? And I was like, no, I don't know any cover songs. And this is before I realized, that, sometimes you might have to do a couple covers, or you might have to do a lot of covers, when you start out as a band, because, you have to get your songs out there, unless, you're fortunate enough to have a huge music scene nearby, they're not going to care about your originals for the most part. So I didn't learn any at that time. So I basically said, no, I don't know any covers. And basically they said, well, how about you go, and they gave me a list of a few songs, blah, blah. But then I said, well, why can't we just jam? Just do something. And he like basically said that he couldn't jam. And I was like, oh, Lordy. I'm like, yeah, this is coming from a band that I'm expecting to want to do something with and go on, and do original songs with, but they can't jam. So I basically said that band was probably not the band for me. So I quit that band. And it was a hell to get to that place either. There was another one in Indianapolis I went to audition for, and basically they were not even a real band. They are a real band, but they're mainly the reason why they got the band together is so they could do like advertising gigs and things like that. And it's like, yeah, that's cool and everything, but it's like he acted like that was the only thing that they were worried about. Like that's the only thing they got together for, So I mean, I got there late. I got lost in Indianapolis, and I found the house. Like it ended up being like 11 o'clock by the time I found it. And I figured, like, well, okay, I figured, no, we can't play, but they might, do a little bit, but but nothing happened. So yeah, I think he ended up hearing me sing like a little bit. We did some acoustic work, I think, that night. But he liked me, but I just said like, well, I don't know if it's a thing for me because I want to have like an actual band. That's like that. But I told him that I think on an email when I got back home. But yeah, that basically happened. I don't think I had auditioned for any other bands. I think there was one more. I know I tried to get somebody that was nearby, tried to get to be their singer, and they basically, oh, I did go audition for another group in Indianapolis, and I really, really liked that group. I really did like them. But after I met them, and there was a girl singer, and I'm like, well, I think it'd be cool, if I come in and help her sing. We kind of be like dual singers and things like that. And actually, I think I brought some of my songs with me, or actually wrote a song on the spot there. Because I'm good at that. Like I said, there's a good song behind me, or somebody's jamming to a good jam. I can like write out lyrics like in a heartbeat. It's just what I do. I can do that for the most part. A lot of times I can wing it, but lately I've been having trouble winging it. I have like a weird verse comes out that doesn't make any sense. But anyway, but usually I can do that. But I was listening, recording with her and everything, and it was like, I got home and I'm just thinking, it's like I probably should have stayed with that band, but I think something happened, and they ended up going their separate ways. Something happened, or a couple members left or something. But the girl just didn't want to do it. But I think that I told him is like she was pretty good. I think it would work. If we were both in it. Things like that. And I am older, so it's probably weird them having me there. But at the time, I think I was about 5 years older than everybody there. But it was still, I had, I didn't have any experience. I never performed, but they had never performed either. So that's one of the things that's kind of holding me back too, is that I've never performed live or anything like that. It's just something I've never done. But yeah. So basically, I just got, I got sick and tired of, waiting for a band. And I said, well, you know what? There was a time in my life I went through some crazy stuff, and I ended up coming upon a guitar somehow. I won't tell you how, but I got a guitar, and I basically just started recording, my playing a crappy guitar and recording. Now I will say at the beginning of all this, I had Danny helping play guitar for me, and I was recording a few songs with him too, as well, like here and there. Like probably about every 4 months, I would go and record a song with him, and he would help come up with the music and everything. And I actually did go record a song in the studio, one with him, one I recorded in a thing called New Face. There we go, New Face. And that'll probably be on Come to Life too, because I still have that song. But I do have New Face. I had to go and edit it because, well, basically what happened was we went and we got the music done, and for some reason, and if anybody knows anything about audio equipment and anything like that, this dude had something that would constantly beep, and throughout the song, there was a beeping in there, and it was really really annoying. So I don't know if it's like something to protect us from like ripping that music and putting it on a CD or what, but it was really annoying, and I basically told Danny, like, well, that's not something that I want to keep going back to. He was pretty reasonable, but I just don't understand what the beep thing is, because, he knew we wanted a copy of the CD, and even when we played the copy of the CD that he gave to us, there was still a beeping on there, so I don't know if that was some kind of protection or something like that, but I heard the actual beeping, like during when we were recording, and I kind of wondered. I told Danny to the side while we were recording in the middle of the songs. We were going to record like 2 songs, but in the middle of the recording, I was like, I really hope that doesn't show up on the end of the master tape or whatever. And he was like, and it ended up did doing that. So I was like, his song wasn't that bad. You couldn't really hear the beeps really. But my song was horrible. You could hear the beeps like very, very good, on there. It's like, and Danny got mad because he thinks that my song came out better than his, and he'll probably still tell you that to that day. But his song is really good too. I like the song. It was called, I don't know what it's called, but he does have a MySpace page, but I don't know if it's still up or what. I know I think I actually made him a MySpace page. Now he made it, I think, but like, I don't know, something happened. I was able to put a song up for him or something. But yeah, and I've had it on like a billion times on things of mine, just to show people that song that's really really good. But yeah, so I basically did that and everything. But then, I just basically got tired of Danny not wanting to help record with me anymore because things were going on in his life. He was acting kind of crazy, so I couldn't record with him. So I basically just got that guitar out and I kept on breaking it out more. I kind of learned how to play somewhat to the style to where I can actually sing to, and after a while I was like, well, why wait for Danny? I could just go ding, 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 and like, I could make it to a fashion that will, kind of smooth in with my voice, and I did. So, there we go. That was the birth of Brad Tragick, and the birth of Brad Tragick is when I found a band that was called the Human Statuees, or something like that. And that kind of broke my pressure that I didn't want to be called a human statue anymore. So what led to Brad Tragick was I didn't want to have something that close to my name already be out there. And I don't know how famous they are, so I said, well, I'll just call myself Brad Tragick. And because every time I talk about Brad Tragick, I get nothing. All I get is like news stories. That's all I get. So kind of cool. I'm now Brad Tragick, and I got that name out there. So hopefully I'll be able to stick with Brad Tragick, or I'll be changing my songs again. But there's some older songs I made references to Human Statue, so when I release them, I have to explain that. So yeah, there you go. It's basically the whole story, and I've been struggling ever since to record songs that are really, really good. Because I'm not going to put like a super shitty song online. If it's halfway decent and there's like a couple fuck-ups, or, there's a couple things on there that I'm not really happy of, I'll go ahead and put it on there, but I'll make sure to tell people, it's like, well, it's not a very good song, but it's something to show, what I can do, my lyrics and things like that. Because my lyrics, I do take pride in saying that my lyrics are pretty damn good. I can write lyrics like no other. Like, I would think that if there was like a lyric contest, I probably could win. I don't know if I could win with a rapper, because a rapper probably can come up with a lot of shit, like, on the fly. But writing them down as a song plays, I can do that. Like, I can do that, like, tomorrow, like, 10 seconds. I could probably, well, not 10 seconds, but if they play the song like a bunch of times, I can do it. So I know like a lot of times, like, and I even tried to join another friend of mine's band, Jeremy, and things happen with that. Like, karma is a bitch to me lately. Karma has been a bitch to me for the past 10 years, because things will happen. I'll be all ready to join a band. This band will like me and things like that. And then, my car would break down. I had no way to get there, or they would call and cancel on me. Things like that would happen, and it's just like, damn, it's like nothing will happen. But the band, the other friend's band I was going to join, Jeremy, he was actually in a band, and he was, he's basically just like Danny. He was a really, really good guitar player, and I will say this, that he was actually better than Danny, and he was an amazing guitarist. Well, he still is amazing guitarist, because I think he's still playing today with another band. But, at the time, he had the original members basically of his band, minus the singer. What's that sound like? Anyway, I felt kind of like in a deja vu moment when I found out about this, and I was like, huh, really? because I didn't really know for the longest time that he was in the band. I just hung out with him, and I was like, oh yeah. And finally, like throughout hearing, and I kind of mentioning my music, Dustin happens to mention, which is another friend of mine, Greensburg, Indiana, that he's actually in the band. And I'm like, really? So I kind of started, dropping hints and kind of, going in and talking more to him. And I mean, I was already like pretty good friends with him anyway. But things just started happening. I just kind of mentioned stuff and things like that. I just kind of thing came forward one day, and I said, like, are you guys looking for a new singer? Blah blah blah. I would love to try and do that. And they actually auditioned me and they picked me. They liked me, but I think things happened, and they actually were. I think they were gonna try some guy, but it didn't work out. Something didn't happen. Something happened. They basically just said off. But now they're back together. They're with a singer. I really don't think they're taking it serious, but I think they're basically doing like a lot of doing like concerts or like just live shows, like random places. But I mean, I don't know if they have any originals. I haven't really listened to them much, but I do know they do covers and things like that. But yeah, but it's great, and that happened, and that didn't work out either. So that's basically led me to start recording songs and things like that. So it's been a long adventure for me, trying to find bands, and I basically just gave up and figured, well, they'll come to me when they come to me. If I happen to find somebody, I'll find somebody. So there you go. There's been the story of Brad Tragick. Hope you enjoy it. If you want the short version, you can go to the website and look on why doesn't Brad Tragick have a band? It's on there. The story's on there. I basically talk about what kind of band I want to make, but you can check that out. What kind of band I really want to do. Basically, no boundaries. Straight up. Just a band that has no boundaries, that will play any kind of music. That's what kind of band I'm looking for. So there you go. You can check out what's on bradtragick.weebly.com. And that link, I'll try and put it in the link here when I upload it. If not, then it's on my YouTube account. You can go to my channel, and I think I'm pretty sure it's a link on there. You can go check out. Continually updated, looking different. I like the way it looks now. It'll probably stay that way for a while. And I got the crazy wrestling reviews on there. I have the movie reviews on there. I have the Music Madness thing going on. 14 bands, continuing to be a huge thing with me. I love them. I'm addicted. I have tons of bands sitting off to the side I just got to hunt for on YouTube. And if I can't find them on YouTube, then sad panda. If I can't find them online, I can't put them on the 14 bands list because I don't really want to say, hey, this is a cool band. But people are asking, where can I find it? Anyway, this has been Brad Tragick, the story of. Thank you. Keep watching and hope you enjoy. Keep rocking.